Ever wondered what it's like to swim in a pool with a waterfall on a $650 million yacht? Or perhaps own a book that cost more than a private jet? Welcome to the world of Bill Gates, where everyday expenses are just a drop in the ocean of his extravagant lifestyle. From islands and mansions to machines that turn poop into water. Yeah, seriously. Bill Gates takes luxury to a whole new level. So, without further ado, let's dive into the outrageously lavish possessions of Bill Gates. First up, let's start with this island. Bill wanted to one-up his good old buddy Jeffrey and decided to get one of the biggest islands in the Caribbean. But on this island, there aren't any creepy mansions yet, just a small hut and some of the best scuba diving in the world. The island cost Gates $25 million, but that's chump change to someone worth $150 billion. So, you know what he spent 100 times that amount on? A machine that can turn poop into water. Yeah, Gates was touring Africa and saw how many people were drinking unsafe water. And I guess he couldn't just build wells like Mr. Beast. So, he decided the best solution was to make them drink their own. Bill promises it's safe though. He even had a sip of it himself. It cost Bill $200 million to invent this. But don't worry, for an African village, it's much cheaper. It only cost $2 million. I think Bill forgot they probably can't afford that. After his trip to Africa, Bill flew away in one of his 5 private jets back home to his mega mansion and decided to go for a joyride in one of his supercars. But he had a problem. He couldn't decide which car to drive. He was thinking of driving one of his cheap cars like the Jaguar, Tesla, or Mercedes. But today was a special day, so instead he decided to drive a car so rare it's banned in the United States. In 1986, Gates bought a Porsche 959 in Europe, since they weren't sold in the States. He tried to import it to get around the US laws, but they weren't having any of that. So his car was impounded for 13 years until Gates was finally able to bring it home. After all that hassle, the price tag came out to $200,000. But since he can only drive that on his private island, he also owns a $100,000 Porsche 911. Obviously, he doesn't just own Porsches. He owns a classic Ferrari 348, which was the last Ferrari made by the original automaker Enzo Ferrari. This only set him back 100 bands. But Gates knew he needed to step it up, so he cobbled up a Rolls-Royce Ghost for $388,000. But still, that makes his total car collection a cheap $1.2 million. He spent $36 million on a painting of a guy lost at sea. I don't know why he'd spend that much, but it easily broke the record for the most expensive piece of art sold in the US. Not to mention the other art in his collection, because altogether, it adds up to a whopping $124 million. Why would he care though, when he has more private jets than you have shoes? His cheapest one is the Cessna 208 seaplane, which he uses to fly to his island or other remote parts of the world where there are no runways. It only cost him $2.8 million. But the very first private jet he owned is way nicer. Surprisingly, he bought his first one 10 years after becoming a billionaire. I guess he got tired of listening to crying babies every flight and purchased a Bombardier Challenger for $27 million. But he must have been really annoyed on that last economy flight because he didn't buy just one, he bought 2 of the exact same plane. These Challengers feature nothing crazy, just reclining seats, a swing-out table, and couches. Super basic. But when Gates started becoming an old man, he started needing more naps. So he bought a $78 million Gulfstream G650ER, since this jet comes with a bedroom. And again, he couldn't just buy one, he bought 2 of these, also making his total private jet fleet worth $210 million. The jets are at least useful though. Bill's got to blow some money, so he bought a book that's worth more than a private jet. This is the famous Codex Leicester, written by Leonardo da Vinci. It provides a rare glimpse into the mind of a genius and shows that da Vinci was a kind of a weird dude. Throughout the entire book, he wrote backwards, so you can only read it in a mirror. And Gates also a weird old dude. So he bought the book for $30 million, making it the most expensive book ever sold. But it actually turned out to be a good investment because now it's worth over $130 million. But Bill has way more cash tied up in all the mansions he's bought. He must love California because he owns 3 different properties there. His cheapest home is only $12.5 million, probably because it's in the middle of nowhere. It's part of a community called the Vintage Club, and to even be allowed to buy any type of house there, you gotta pay $250,000. But I guess he was tired of being surrounded by people because he dipped and bought a $43 million oceanfront mansion in San Diego. Apparently, he turned this place into a giant bachelor pad to throw a bunch of hooker parties, and it just finished being constructed in August of 2023. But while construction was going on, he stayed at this $18 million mansion that was a short 30-minute drive away. He probably bought this mansion for his daughter, though, since she rides horses, and this property happens to have a horse track. And that wouldn't be the first time Bill bought a mansion just because of his daughter. He actually bought an entire street full of mansions so she could practice horse jumping. These mansions are located in Wellington, Florida, and only cost him about $27 million. But his craziest mansion is called Xanadu 2, located in Washington, and it's the most futuristic house I've ever seen. If you're ever invited in, you get a pin to wear around that automatically changes the lighting, temperature, and music of any room to your preferences. Most of these walls are giant screens that show different pictures and artworks throughout the day. It also has a heated indoor pool and an entire room filled with trampolines because we all know Bill loves to jump around. That's just the inside though. On the outside, you'll see Bill's favorite tree, which he guards with 24/7 security for some reason. He also has an artificial stream that's filled with fish, and the sand on his beach is imported from the Caribbean. This has got to be one of the craziest houses in the world, and it's still worth the same amount of money as his book, $130 million. And just wait till you hear how much money he's spending on his kids. You'd think someone worth $150 billion would leave at least $1 to $2 billion for his kids, right? Nah. Bill said them kids, he's only going to leave them with $10 million each. That's probably just cap though, because he'll be leaving his $1 million properties to them as well. He plans on donating the rest of his money to charity, but not before buying a $650 million yacht. This thing is so massive that Bill has to take his $4.2 million helicopter just to get onto it. On the outside, it's got an infinity pool with a waterfall at the back and 4 different decks with lounge areas. Inside, the top lounge is completely surrounded by glass, giving Bill a 360-degree view wherever he's at. As you descend the giant spiral staircase, you'll find a spa, hair salon, and a world-class gym. This yacht boasts 7 bedrooms with a master suite larger than my entire apartment. Plus, this absolute beast is fully powered by hydrogen, making it completely environmentally friendly. And let's not forget the self-cleaning and self-drying mop that he uses to keep the floors clean enough to eat off of. It's designed for hassle-free cleaning and is way better than whatever you're using to clean your floors, even if you clean your floors at all. This multifunctional mop and bucket set will make cleaning quicker and easier, so you should upgrade yours today. Just click the link in the description below to get your own. It's just a rumor that Gates owns this yacht, but I'm sure he'd never admit it, even if he did. However, he will admit that he owns the most farmland in the entire US, and it's his most expensive purchase ever. This is weird since he said all he wants all the rich nations to switch to synthetic beef. I don't know about you, but you can keep your lab meat. Don't worry though, because even though he owns 270,000 acres of farmland, that's still less than 1% of the total available farmland, so we should be fine. All that land cost him about $1 billion. Alright folks, that wraps up our journey through the wild and wealthy world of Bill Gates. From futuristic mansions to poop-to-water machines, Gates lives large in every sense. What do you think of his extravagant lifestyle? Which of his possessions surprised you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this peek into the life of one of the world's richest men, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel for more jaw-dropping tales, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest updates.